Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. In today's tutorial, we're diving into the world of visual effects, specifically the parallax effect. You've probably seen this effect without even realizing it. It is one where objects in the foreground move at a different speed than those in the background, giving your visuals a 3D-like feel. So we're going to learn how to create this effect using Capcut even if you're just getting started. So let's jump right in. But before we begin, let's understand first what exactly is the parallax effect. So, simply put, that it is the visual phenomenon where objects closer to the viewer move faster than objects further away. So, this is something we often notice in everyday life, like when you're driving and the trees by the road seem to zip by while the mountains in the distance barely move. So, in video editing, we can simulate this to make static images come alive with depth. So we're going to go ahead and try to set up our Capcut in here. So we're currently on Capcut already. If you haven't installed it onto your end, just search Capcut onto your local device and then you should be able to find in the download option that is compatible with your device. So you'll just need to go ahead and download that and follow the installation prompt. Then right after you'll get redirected onto the same screen. To get started, we'll have to click on to create a project in here. And as you can see, we got redirected here onto the editing page. Now, to get started, we're going to go ahead and import the video or photos that we want to use. So we could go ahead and try to download first some footage that we could use, and we could import them over in here. So we need a background and we need a person so that we could go ahead and simulate a parallax effect in here. So simply click onto the option in here to import the images that we want to use. So I have here a photo of a girl and also a background. So we're going to import both of them in here and we're going to add them here onto the timeline. So let's start with adding the background first, and we're going to add also the person in here. Could go ahead and add the person onto the background. We're going to go ahead and remove its background first. So there is actually a remove background option already available here on Capcut. So we could actually use remove in here, wherein there is a chroma key. I think the chroma key option in here won't be too clean since it has a white background and its shirt is also white. So we're gonna make use in here onto a website called Remove BG to go ahead and remove the background onto that photo. So we're just gonna upload the photo in here or drop it in here so that we could go ahead and try to remove its background. So let's try to do that one first. And right after that, it should go ahead and load. We'll just have to wait for this one. And there should be an option right after to go ahead and download that. So you could actually see in here the background remove and the background that is still there. So you'll just need to download this, or you could use any of the background remover that you have onto your end so that we could go ahead and make sure that it has a clean background before adding our parallax effect. So once we have downloaded that, it's time to go back here onto Capcut and then we'll try to import that one. So let's remove this other one in here and let's try to add in the photo that has the background remove already. So let's click onto that, add it here. And now it should go ahead and look something like this. So let's make this longer first, up until 2 seconds. And right after, the first thing that we need to do is we're going to go ahead and try to add the parallax effect first onto the background. So we're going to start on adding a keyframe over here. So let's head back here on basic. Let's add a keyframe and we'll try to adjust the scale to make this bigger at around 130 or 125, just like that. And then right after, since we've added the keyframe already onto that, let's head here onto the last part of the video or photo, and we're gonna add another keyframe in here, and we're gonna lessen this one or the scale for that. And let's get this back to its normal state, to 100. So it should go ahead and look something like this. So as you can see, there is a zoom out effect onto that. Now we're gonna do the same thing onto the person in here. So we have this one already studied out over here, and since we've started zoom in onto the background, we'll start zoom out onto our person in here. So we'll add a keyframe here onto the first part, and onto the last part, we're gonna zoom her, make it bigger at around 125 or 118. Let's adjust it over here so that it should still align the eyes, and let's add a keyframe, and this should go ahead and look something like this. Now, if you do a quick preview, this is how the video or parallax effect should look like. So that is for the first effect. So we could do the same thing side by side for this one. So let's remove this and let's try to import the footages that are applicable for side by side. So let's click onto import again in here. And for this tutorial, we're going to use a car and a street view in here. So we're going to add both of this. So we're going to add in a parallax effect wherein it will going to go ahead and show side by side. So let's add the street and the car here onto our timeline. So let's have the car here onto the upper part, and we're going to resize this to make this smaller to fit the screen. So we're going to make the clips longer first. And we're going to adjust also in here the background first, make it bigger. Click onto the car and let's adjust it to add it onto the starting point. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we're going to start the car here outside over here. So we're going to add a keyframe for that, and we're going to head here onto the last part, and then we're going to move it up until here. So as you can see, we have moved the car already over there. We're going to add a keyframe for that. So that it should go ahead and create a straight line effect, just make sure that the Y on both keyframe aligns. So we have the Y in here around 425. We're going to adjust this at around 425 as well. So by that, it should go ahead and create a straight movement for that one. We're going to do the same thing for the background in here. So we'll make this really big so it should go ahead and create the effect. So we're going to start over here, and instead of the movement going over there, we're going to move it opposite with the car. So the car is moving over there. We're going to go ahead and make the background start over here and move over here. So we're going to start it here. Just like that. Let's add in a keyframe onto the first part. Let's move it here. Keyframe here, and let's add in a keyframe onto the last part. Move it over here, and let's add in a keyframe, and let's copy the Y for that, 252, and onto the last part. It should go ahead and still be 2 by 2. Let's adjust this first. So we're gonna keep on adjusting this until it goes ahead and it aligns the view. So let's click on to play. And as you can see, it created already the parallax effect. We could also add in some clouds. Let's check here onto the stock footages that are offered on Capcut so that we could add more effect for this. So we're gonna choose in a cloud here. For example, this one. So it is better if you have a transparent background for the clouds. Or you could go ahead and try to use blend for this. And it should go ahead and look something like this. So let's crop that one out and let's try to see the final result. And that's just basically it on how you create the side-to-side parallax effect, and you have created your very own parallax effect already using the very own Capcut. So whether you're adding depth to still images or bringing a scene to life, this technique is super versatile and easy to apply. So if you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you to our next video.